I just wonder, Ben Mee being sent off when Brentford were 1 goal up and Villa turning it around. It says a lot about Villa that they go and get the job done. We were speaking about goal scorers. It says a lot about Ollie Watkins to get the winning goal scorer as well. But Ben Mee, it was originally a yellow, I think, and then upgraded to a red. Looks like that was the difference between Brentford getting something and not.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of at one stage thought that a point was probably the most Villa could get.
Yeah.
But things went their way, and sometimes you make your own luck. They're on such a fantastic run of form, picking up 3 points left, right, and centre pretty much, and they got a break with the Ben Mee sending off. As far as them going any further, I don't see it, just purely in my opinion, because they don't have depth. You mentioned Ollie Watkins there. If Ollie Watkins gets injured, suspended, whatever it may be, then that's a big hole to fill that they don't have the capability of doing. So yeah, I don't think the squad's deep enough, and right now they're playing with the freedom. If they stay where they are right now for a period of time, then the narrative changes. Expectation, as opposed to basically being the underdog, makes a whole lot of difference between the way you play and the way the opposition play against you. So, yeah, I don't think they're title contenders, but no question they keep this up. They look like top 4 possibilities. That's for sure.
Especially with the home form that they've got. Just before we wrap this up, you spoke about Ollie Watkins, quite rightly so, because he's one of the best strikers in England right now. And if he goes down, as a former manager, Stevie, if you want to add depth to the squad, and you want to maybe sign they've got John Duran and they've got a couple of others as well that can play in that position. But how do you try and attract a striker to your team when you know and he knows that he might not be the first choice, or he won't be the first choice, and he'll only really feature when the main man goes injured?
Well, you have a scouting system, and you have a chief scout, and you have people behind the scenes whose job it is to find the next up and coming. And for a team like Villa, I mean, that's the way they have to go about it. Aston Villa are not going out and signing Osimhen, for example, who seems to be the guy everybody wants. Will Napoli let him go? But he's not going to Villa if Napoli decide to let him go. So it has to be the scouting system. But the other thing we have to remember is somebody like Ollie Watkins, if he keeps producing what he's producing,
it might not be a Villa.
They've got to be. Do Villa accept a bid for them, which again changes the whole narrative. So, yeah, that could happen. If you're the manager, you're asking the board not to do that, but at the same time, you're relying on your scouting system to go out and try and find some diamonds, or certainly compete with some guys who have got to a certain level, but you think you can better them and make your team better with. So, yeah, it's not easy for teams like Villa to try and take the next step, because inevitably it takes a lot of money. Well, yeah, it's all about the money, isn't it?
It always is. And ending things with the early round of games on Sunday, West Ham beating Wolves by 3-0. A couple for Kudus, who's quite the player, assisted by Paquetá, and Jared Bowen got the third. And West Ham move up to 7th. Pressure on Davy Moyes? I don't think so. Thank you to Stevie, and we'll be back later on to talk about Liverpool against Manchester United. Bye for now.